We are live. Can you hear me?
All right, guys, welcome to Awesomeness Hour. Rebecca, thanks for joining us today.
Hello.
What's going on? We got Marissa up in the my upper left-hand corner. Where am I on your screen, Marissa?
You're in my upper left too.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is Becky in the middle down below?
Down.
She's in the middle though, right?
Yeah, in the middle. She's
Yeah.
right there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to know all the screen configurations. Rebecca, what's going on? How's your day going?
It's going well. I actually had a work meeting right before. So I was saying hello to some colleagues, and then now I'm hanging out with you guys.
Very cool. Very cool. For those people that don't know you that well, give us a little bit of the rundown on how long you've been in the program, how you got to us, just the Cliff Notes version of what's going on.
Okay. I've been so excited to hang out and talk to you guys.
Good.
My whole speech. Hold on. Let me just pull that note. I started with you in July of 2018.
Okay.
Was our wonderful friend Alyssa who brought me in. And fun fact, you actually had offered me this amazing deal the year prior, and Alyssa was like, what is he smoking? I've never seen that deal before, and I turned it down. I was like, I'm just not ready. I had just had Lorenzo. I have 2 kids. I just had Lorenzo. And I was like, he was still getting up at like 4 a.m. for nursing. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just not ready. And you texted, we were like on a text, and you said, don't worry, I'll be here when you are. And so fast forward, July of 2018, I was at a 4th of July party, and I was like, you know what? It's my summer of yes. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I've seen Alyssa. I've seen how great she does. It's been consistent. So yes. So I text Alyssa, and she's like, well, I'm out of town right now, so I'll get back to you. And I'm like, no, I want to go tomorrow.
That's funny.
It was like, I think it was a Monday. She picked me up at 4:30 a.m. and it was core day.
Okay.
Was the best. And you were like, okay, I'll email you and give you the rundown. And I said, no, I want to sign up. I'm ready. Okay. And he's like, oh, okay. So then I signed up, I went home, and I just like started doing everything Jay approved. And it was awesome. And I loved the workouts. I've been with you for 2 years. It's been it'll be 2 years in July. It's just been such an amazing experience, being able to get up at 4:30 in the morning and work out with some really cool people.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been the only thing that's been a consistent, effective thing for me, because I've always been athletic, but I've always been on the thicker side. So for me, it was just, it clicked. Everything made sense.
Awesome. How much weight loss have you had? Like, what's been your big transformational thing?
I've lost about 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 5'10" and a half on a good day.
I mean, you're taller than me. I mean, I say I'm 5'10".
Yeah.
I'm probably not.
Yeah. No, probably not, because I think I'm taller than you.
My beard is 6'4".
Yes.
Just so you guys know, that 6'4", 220.
Totally digging the beard.
Is my beard. He's a big guy. He's really athletic. He's smart. He's good looking. But me, I'm up probably 5'9.5". Carry on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So like I said, I was about an 8'10" size when I started, and now I'm like a solid 4'6". Mm-hmm. The weight itself hasn't been like a big drop, but I've just gained a lot of muscle, toned up my body. Like everything is just everything has just slimmed down. So the weight, it's kind of stayed around the same, but my sizes of my clothes have dropped. Really.
I think that's a great awareness for everyone to hear, because it's not always just about the weight. Like when I look at you, you look completely different. You know what I mean? Let's forget the scale. If I didn't even know the numbers, I would say she's definitely different, but you're super fit looking now.
Yes.
Like, whereas before you just look like, I mean, you had, you had kids, you hadn't really worked out that much, you know what I mean? So you definitely formed, your fitness level definitely got higher and higher.
Oh my gosh. I mean, tremendously. I've chased Marissa around that studio for 2 years. Like, she's my white rabbit. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be where I am, because my fitness level is insane. Like, I've noticed that when I'm running, it's so much easier to run. Like the things that I thought were really hard aren't hard anymore. And it's just so fun to challenge and see what else I can do.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, I mean, I definitely noticed about you right off the bat. It was, even though you hadn't been with us very long, you always were like competitive in the sense of like, you always like tried to give it your very best. Like you never let, oh, I don't, I'm brand new, get in the way of you performing at a really high level.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is because of the intensity and the like support of that 5 a.m. class. Totally. I mean, it's such a magical hour. Like you don't recognize it until it's gone, how amazing it is. Like it didn't matter if it was what level the person was at, but everybody was always like, yeah, you got this, you can do this. Like, I'm gonna push, you push. And it really helped. Because I am competitive, but it helps like make it positive instead of like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to beat you. No, it's positive. Right.
Yeah, it's competitive, but it's in a communal way where everybody wants everybody to win. And I think that's one of the greatest things about it. Yeah. And like, I think you hit the nail on the head. It doesn't matter what level you're at. Like if you're someone who needs to lose 100 pounds, you still feel like you're part of the process and you can still be competitive and
totally
have that fun. Had you ever, I mean, I know you've never done a program like ours, but did you ever like worked out in a gym setting kind of like we have before?
I think I did one like CrossFit class. It was in Palm Desert. I don't even remember what it was. And that was 7.5 years ago. And I did it one time and I was like, not really for me.
Yeah.
But I've always worked out. Like I've always been either 24-hour or EOS, Golds before it was EOS. I've pretty much done the like, I'll work out for a month and then I'll stop working out for 2 months and then I'll work out for a month. And then, that's how it was.
Standard American, right?
Yeah. But I loved, like, there would be times where like Alyssa and I it's funny because the Facebook memories come back and it's like, ooh, we're at spin. And we thought we were doing really good work, but it was so easy compared to what we do now, but we do body pump or spin or for a while I ran a marathon and I ran a couple half marathons within a couple year span. And so I was running and, I always stayed active, but never to this.
Did you play high school sports?
I did. So I played soccer. I was varsity soccer all through high school. I was varsity basketball all through high school. I went to a community college for basketball, played at a JC on a scholarship. I've always had that like natural athletic talent, but after listening to, I've listened to every single training call since I've started. Plus there'd be times where I'll go back and just dial a random number. Right. And it's so funny because the one today was the podcast about your competitiveness. And I was like, I was that person that I had the natural talent, but I didn't have the drive. I hit snooze. I didn't go out and practice when it was most important, And so I was really like reflecting on that today. I was like, I was always like naturally able to do it, but I never went above and beyond. I was just always at that like average, But I was really good. Basketball is like my main thing. I love playing basketball. I had Xavier start playing and I get out there and shoot. And it's just so fun because I still like enjoy that game. And then soccer was really fun too. Played goalie. I was your Hope Solo.
I like it. I can see that. I can see that.
I was a little rough around the edges, and we'd go out and party afterward. And
I could see a little. I see a little Hope Solo in you.
I don't know if I ever beat up my boyfriend.
Listen, you don't have to admit to that right now. Don't incriminate yourself. You don't have to admit to shit. That's what you. Yeah, that's not.
That's
he deserved it. He
that was
deserved
Idaho.
it. He got it.
That was in Sun Valley, Idaho. So the rules were different.
I was gonna ask, where'd you grow up? Like, where'd you go to school?
So I'm originally from Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And my whole family lives in Portland, Oregon. We go back and visit every year, every summer. But my 8th grade year, we moved to Sun Valley, Idaho.
Okay.
And it's a little town in between, like, kind of close to Twin Falls, Boise. Very tourist, much like this, but we had 4 seasons. So we had the sun, the snow, fall, those whole, everything. So people would come and ski. It's a big ski resort. Okay. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, Demi Moore, they all had houses there. Okay. Ernest Hemingway, he wrote a lot at that, about that area. Oh. And so we had, we had moved there 8th grade. That's where I kind of fell in love with basketball, fell in love with soccer. And then after my high school career, I went back to Oregon and went to Albany, Oregon. And that's where I played at Lynn Benton Community College. Okay. Went there for 2 years. Decided I was going to move down to San Diego and like walk on to a basketball team and go to the WNBA.
Okay, I like it.
And then possibly do my whole thing. I wanted to do sports psychology.
Okay.
But at that time, it was like non-existent in terms of like programs in college level. I think Arizona was the only place that it had a real program. Right. So that dream kind of faded, and I went to, I actually ended up here in Palm Desert.
Did you go to San Diego or no?
No, I ended up in Palm Desert. So I was going to go to San Diego.
Okay.
But my mom lived in Palm Springs. And so I came down and visited one spring break. And I was like, oh my God, I love it here. I love this place. It's so beautiful, 75 degrees. We were in the pool. It was so great. I ended up moving down so I was in Albany, moved back to, Albany, then went to Palm Springs in July, moved all my stuff in July. And I was like, what is this hell? Who lied to me? This is horrible. I had to move all my stuff upstairs and like into my mom's apartment. And I was like, oh my God, this is the worst. I'm getting out of here. But then it turned out I started a job at Robinson's May in Westfield. And then in addition, I worked at Outback. And when I started at Outback, I ended up meeting Frankie. And then plans changed, and I knew I was going to marry him. So I just said, okay, I'm going to find something else to do. And that's when I started doing the teaching. Outback
Steakhouse.
Oh,
love was born.
Dude.
Love it.
Good times.
Now let's shift gears. Let's chat about that. So how did this happen? I mean, because were you waiting tables? He was in the kitchen. Like, how'd this whole thing go down?
So I totally lied to my proprietor and told him that I had been a server and I knew what I was doing, but I had no idea what I was doing. I had been a busser for this little like breakfast thing in Sun Valley, and that was my experience. But my whole family has been servers, and so I feel like it was kind of in my blood. But I totally told him I knew what I was doing, and he sat down and he said, you know what? All right, that sounds good. Like, whether you have experience or not, I can teach you the skills, but it's the personality. So he was like, I like your personality. Let's give you a job. I'm like, all right, perfect. So I literally was training day 2, walked into the back of the house, saw Frankie across the way, and I was like, who is that? And he had just started management. So someone was like, oh, that's Frankie. He's training to be a manager. I'm like, oh, wow. And I literally thought, I'm going to marry him.
Whoa.
And I just worked my way into all of his friend circles, became friends with girls that I knew he liked, or that they liked him. And we would go and hang out and end up at his house to have drinks.
What?
I was like 20 years old. Yeah.
Strategic.
Oh man, good times.
And now, so how long did it take when you started your master plan for you two to start going out?
he had just broken up with somebody that
Mhm.
was a pretty intense relationship. And so he was trying to like play the scene. So I would say, so I met him, that was like July, maybe July or August. And it was 2002. It was around March or April of 2003 that he kissed me and said, "I want to be your boyfriend." And I said, "Okay." It's about time.
You're like, really? You're like, at this point, you don't have any choice.
No, he really didn't.
Like, I've pretty aggressively stalked you.
Yes.
And it only gets worse. It only gets worse from here. So you probably be in your best interest to just go ahead.
It needed to be. I would drive by his house.
Come on board. Now, are you guys around the same age? What's the differentiator?
No, I think he's, God, is he 43? 43. I think he's 43. I'm 38. It's a 5-year difference.
Okay. 2 kids.
We have 2 kids. Xavier's 7, Lorenzo is 3, and they're crazy and so much fun. I'm literally just spending days trying to not get them to write on their face or like run around naked or jump on the couch.
Lori's dealing with some of the same shit right now.
Yes.
So I mean, I get you.
He gets it.
I get you. I've been writing on my face, and then the clothes. It's been weird, but yeah, just do your best.
Yeah.
I recommend treats.
Today.
Yeah, treats always work. Aww.
Yeah. No, that's marker all over his face.
Oh, that's marker.
That's a mustache.
Oh, I thought we had some chocolate going on.
No, it's a marker.
How does that come off? Slowly?
Like in 3 days. Okay. We're not bathing or anything over here.
Takes some time. Wow. Now, I know Frankie's in the food biz. How's his gig been affected, or how's he handling everything?
So he's at Stuffed Pizza in Westfield. He's the GM over there, and so they did close down for 2 weeks when everybody went down lockdown. He went. They closed everything just for precautions, and now they are doing to go and delivery.
Okay.
So people can drive up. It's a really good, easy system. They drive up, they pick up. They order online, pick up, and then, And
does he feel like it's going well? Is it going pretty?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
He says it's going really well.
Let me ask you this question. I'm just asking questions today. So, because I mean, I've got theories in my own thought processes about how when stuff goes back to normal, but I like to talk to experts. Does he, if you can give his opinions or thoughts, like, because I read something the other day, like they think whenever we do open back up restaurants, they're going to make people set like 6 feet apart, and like they're going to do every other table. And I mean, is that really how
they did? I'm pretty sure they already went into the restaurant and took tables out.
Just configure it
when it's ready. It'll be ready. I think they'll do that for a while. Regardless, I don't know if people are actually gonna abide by it. We've got some pretty strong-headed people out there, but
well, if there's no table to sit at, there's no table to sit at. I mean, what are they going to do? Sit on the floor and ask for a pizza? I mean, I guess they might.
Possibility.
I mean, I've seen worse.
I have too. I have too.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like they're going to do everything that the food and beverage, people tell them. They're going to follow those rules, and I think, I really hope people will just follow it too. But
well, I mean, they'll have to set the standard. I mean, like if they're moving tables and not allowing it, I mean, they're obviously going to be people that have pushback. But is he nervous? Is he ready? What's his take on it? Because he's somebody who's having to manage other people,
Right. He's he's managed for 16 years plus. Like, he's really good with just being very assertive and very like, this is the way it is. That's just do it. So I feel like everybody that works for him will follow him and say, okay, that sounds good. We have some friends in the health field, and so they're giving us information and letting us know, like, just make sure you're washing your hands, those kind of things. So Frankie's very like matter of fact in that way, so he'll just make sure that they're all like diligent about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay. He's not nervous. He's like I said, very matter of fact. So it's like, as long as you're not touching your face and washing your hands, you'll be doing what you can, you know, and wearing the mask and stuff. So they already do all of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. How are you holding up being, because I mean, for those of you that don't know, you're a school teacher. Walk us through that. Like teach what, where, who, what, when, how.
Okay, so I am a 7th and 8th grade education specialist. I work with students with autism. I work with a wide range of students. Some students are in the general education, and I just support them for study skills and like manage their IEPs, which is their own personal like program based on what they need because of their disability. And then I also have kids that are more of the moderate to severe range where they're with me all day long, and I work with them in like an alternative setting. We have alternative curriculum and work on like behaviors and more functional skills. And so it's everybody's struggling, obviously. And like Bobby Jane was saying yesterday, like that people they're not responding. So I'm sending stuff out in Google Classroom, but unfortunately, East Valley, they're very, they don't have the equipment that everybody else does. Most of them don't have devices. They're only just rolling out the iPads this week to only some families. And that actually like did the survey. And so a lot of the kids don't have access to internet. They don't have access to devices. Their parents are working all day, so there's nobody there that's gonna like push them to do the work. So for the most part, I don't have much contact with any of my students. I know I do have a contact with one student who I've worked really diligently with. His mom's really active, and we worked on a lot of self-injurious behaviors and whatnot. So we've been working together. So that's been really cool because I do get to see him. We do like these kind of meetings and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. But for the most part, like we're having our meetings and we're talking about what we're going to be doing coming up in May, those kind of things. Realistically, we only had a month and a half left of school. So like, I'm not stressed that the kids aren't getting the information. I'm not stressed that my kids aren't getting the information because after testing, they're done anyway. So we'll just start again fresh at the beginning of next year.
Yeah. Very cool. What do you normally do anything in the summer, like summer school or anything with those kids, or no?
No, I don't. I take my break because
no, you should.
Yeah,
that's a hard gig.
Really intense.
Can't imagine.
It's just constant. And so for me, I do need that break. And I tell the parents that because they're like, why don't you teach summer school? And I'm like, no, I just need to be able to like relax and refresh,
Oh, 100%. Listen, I deal with Marissa on a daily basis.
I know.
it's enough for me to need a 3-month vacation as well. So
actually,
you have multiple students, so I can get where you're coming from.
But I'm actually, I feel like you can go ahead and ask me the Opportunity 2020 question because
why don't you just answer it?
I'm going to.
Okay.
I feel like this has been such an opportunity for me in the work setting because I have been talking about a change for like 2 or 3 years. I love what I do, but I've been doing it for 10 years, the same job. And so it was kind of like, it's one of my musts on the blue card that I will have a new position by August of 2020. And so I had applied right before this happened. I had applied for a coaching position for new teachers. And I also was like, okay, even if I don't get that, I'm going to do something different and I'm going to transfer to a different position because I want to try something different. And so as soon as this went down, it was like just an eye opener that I was so struggling with wanting to be there anymore. I just was like, I felt bad because I loved the students, but all of the adults were where I was struggling with. And so just needed that change. So for me, it's been an opportunity because it really just solidified my choice. It solidified how I was feeling. And I'm like, okay, yes, this is what I needed. And I'm grateful for what I've had in the past. And I feel like I've learned a lot from it, but I'm ready to go to the next chapter.
When do you find out if you get the new position?
So I just got an invite for the interview for Thursday. So I get to interview Thursday. I've been prepping for it. I'm ready for it. If I don't,
have you ever seen the movie Step Brothers?
you know, I've seen it on and off, but I don't think I've actually watched the whole thing through.
Well, they interview as a team, and so I was just going to offer if Thursday rolls around and you're feeling weird, you're like, I could use some backup. Tee me up. I'm strong.
Well, you are going to be there realistically, because one time I was listening to a podcast and you were saying something, and so then I went and I was like blah 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 blah, blah, blah. And I'm gonna say it, like I'm literally gonna write it down and then say it to them about being a leader and da 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 da. I'm like, good. Yes, Jay, you're always in my mind.
So it'll be a Zoom type interview like this.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I understand like the concept. Is this a district position? Is it just
district?
Okay.
So you'd be a district.
You'd be coaching. So brand new teachers, like I'm fresh off the boat and I'm like, correct. I don't know what to do. Right. Yes. So then you're okay. So what does that mean? Like you'd be like.
So when a teacher's hired, if they have not gone through this BTSA, it's called BTSA, it's an acronym for something. It's an induction program. So they have to complete the 2-year induction program before they can even be considered for tenure, which means they could be like hired as a permanent teacher, part of the whole thing. And so I would be given a list of teachers that I'd be working with for the 2 years. I would go to them, we would have interviews, or it'll probably be online for a while, but I would help them with like their curriculum and their program, like modules and the things that they have to do to complete the whole induction program. So, and then I'd like work with their principals and work with like just helping them create a foundation to be a good teacher. Yeah. Not just to like get through the steps, but to understand like what it takes to get to know your kids. What does it look like to look at the data? What does it look like to have a paraprofessional? What does it look like, you know, like just the whole stuff, all the stuff that you don't learn in the credential program that you spend years in. It's like, why didn't they teach me this? So it'd be all of those things.
Okay. Is it a multi-interview process, or do you know?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
All right, well, keep us posted on that for sure. I mean, we're definitely invested and want to find out. That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
It's really exciting.
Ready. I'm just ready for
now,
that.
What school district are you in?
I'm at Coachella Valley.
So, okay, the Coachella Valley has their own school district. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And what does that encompass? Like what schools?
So I'm at Toro Canyon, which is right where by Marty, where Marty works. He's like across the street from us. Okay. And so like there's quite a few elementary schools.
Is it Coachella and like Mecca and like all those?
Mecca, Oasis.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I can't. But then like
you said East Valley. I've only been on the other side of Washington once.
Yeah, no, that's still Desert Sands.
Okay, that's Desert Sands. Okay. So okay.
We're talking Thermal, Mecca, Salton City, Coachella, the actual Coachella city, and like all of those further out.
So when you fly in every day,
pretty much.
Then do you need is there you need a passport to go to work, or how does this work?
No, I mean, so there's like the thermal clubs out there, and like that new race car place. Okay. So like I'm over by the race car place. So I don't know.
This is like 4 hours from here.
It feels like it for you.
Okay.
Like
I don't even know.
I'll take you can bring your passport, and then I'll take you on a trip.
I'm gonna have to Google this. Like, I mean, I'm gonna have to pack a bag.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I'm gonna need a toothbrush. I'm gonna need a change of clothes. Like this seems so far away.
But realistically, it's like 20 minutes. Oh. But it's not stop signs, you know. But you're going 20 minutes straight, you know. Like whereas if you're going into Palm Desert, it's 20 minutes to get somewhere, but it's because you
stop signs and whatnot.
Stop signs
gotcha.
And those kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's an easy drive. It's freaking hot out there. It's hotter out there than it is here.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's why they call it thermal.
Thermal, exactly.
You can't argue with that. They knew what they were doing when they named that city.
But it's crazy because that's out where they had like that 4x4 Jeep thing. Last year, there was like this big
Yeah, like there's a festival out
There's
there.
a festival. There's a festival, and people fly their airplanes, their personal airplanes in there, and they land them on their houses. And
I have never been
So
to
it's, like,
Thermal, or I'm
really
not even sure I've
poor.
been to Coachella.
Probably not.
Like, how would I know if I was in Coachella?
Let's not start today.
Okay.
Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
You're
So
not-
that pretty much means I haven't been to Coachella.
No, you haven't.
Okay. I think the furthest that
Have
way
you been
I've
to Mexico? I'm
only
serious. Have you been to Mexico?
well, only like Cabo, like only by flight, like
No,
not
you haven't been to Coachella.
not a border. I haven't been to a border town. No.
No.
Okay. I don't get out much.
No.
I was gonna say I've been to the polo fields. That's not Coachella?
That's India.
That's India. Okay.
Yeah, so that's further further east than Washington.
I said I've been there. It's been a while.
Okay.
Am I close to
That's
Coachella when I'm
Monroe.
there?
Coachella Festival.
Okay.
That's where
Close to
that's where Coachella Fest is.
Okay.
Stagecoach.
So I have quintessentially been to Coachella. I'm put that on my list of
Marissa? No.
cities
Tell
I've
them
been
no.
to. Well, she has to have a passport just to get home. She lives so far. I mean, I don't even know where PGA West is.
What?
That's where
kind of about
Luke
Temecula.
Bryan played,
What's that?
right? That's where Luke Bryan played.
Yeah, PJ West.
Yeah.
Temecula.
No. What?
That's she lives in. She's pretty much in Temecula, I think.
An everyday occurrence. He tells me, "Did Border Patrol stop you today?" Or
Oh my gosh. Oh, Jay.
I'm silly. That's what do I got? What do I have in life, right? Except to give people a hard time. Do we have any questions? Is anybody even listening to us?
Oh, I
three?
know, right?
oh, we got some people
Okay, what's going on? Anybody have any questions?
comments. Lots of comments.
How do you and Alyssa know each other?
So Alyssa and I, she used to live in the same community that I currently live in. So we met at a board meeting, like an HOA meeting or something.
You two jokers are on the board? Or
I
you just
know.
going there-
No. We just went.
You going in there to raise some hell?
We were trying to, because there was like this big debacle of these homes coming in, and nobody wanted the homes to come in. So we end up meeting there, and it was funny because it was like, oh, I'm going to school for this, or I'm doing, and it was like we had a lot of similarities, and so we exchanged numbers, and like it's oh my gosh, I think 10 years now. It's been 10 years that when we first met, and we had a lot of parallels. So like I got married, and then she got married, and then we had so then like I think I just had Xavier when we were having her baby shower and stuff for Owen, and then Owen passed, and then we had a lot of stuff with the Lionheart Drive and those kind of things, and
cool.
And so it was like always, and then we both went to Costa Rica for our honeymoons. That was really cool.
Now, was that on purpose or just?
No. We have a lot of like similarities, and then we would work out together because we both lived over here, so we'd go to 24-hour fitness.
Okay.
But, and it was just, and we'd always like. Oh, and then we both worked at Best Services together. So we did in-home tutoring for in-home ABA for students with autism.
Cool.
So we had a lot of like. We just got along really well. We've always, gone back and forth, and sometimes it will be a while. And I feel like once I joined Thrive, it really helped to like get us closer, and we were able to, solidify our relationship.
Well, I'm glad she harassed you for 2 years to get you to finally join. Dear Lord, why not? It took so long?
I know.
Talk about getting a complex.
Shit.
I'm over here trying to do my best.
I know.
Takes somebody 2 years.
She kept saying like, come on. I'm like, yeah. And I knew, but see, it was that whole thing, like no sugar, no gluten, no dairy, like 5 a.m. What in the world? Are you crazy?
Not that bad.
It's not, but on the outside looking in, it's a little crazy.
Bad, yeah.
It is a cult.
It is. I know. Trust me. I know.
I have many friends will tell me, but
it's so crazy.
I love it.
Come on, people.
It's a good cult.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, the ATF's not showing up at our place. I mean, it's not Waco. We're doing a good job. Trying to keeping it clean. I just had this thought when I was looking at my beard, because Frankie can grow a proper beard, and so I feel I have beard envy for people who can actually grow a real beard. Is he from, I should ask this earlier, is he from the desert?
Yes.
Okay, so
from
he's
Indio.
He's an original desert cat.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Born and raised. He's a Raja. That's why I asked Bobby Jane if where
Okay.
they went, because I knew that they were Coachella.
Has he always been a food guy? Like, has he always been like in the food bit?
He was originally going to go into criminal justice. He really wanted to be a police officer, and but that was before me. And then he had started to work at Outback, just I think as a side job, and really liked the proprietor at the time. And really, I think the proprietor just saw a lot in him where he would be really good potential to be like own his own restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
So he, not only did he want to do criminal justice, he's always wanted to own like a restaurant or a bar. And so he kind of stepped aside from criminal justice and started taking over and like just worked. He was started as a dishwasher and then worked his way up to actually a proprietor of Outback for a while.
Wow.
We were in Oceanside, and then he came back here and he was proprietor of Palm Desert. And then an opportunity for Stuffed opened up at Westfield, and Esther, which is John Bertram's wife, Esther, used to work for him at Outback. And so she said, hey, I've got this GM position opening up. And so he went over there, and he's always really, really enjoyed the restaurant business. He likes, hospitality. But he actually now is going to school for nursing. Yeah, I know, totally random, right? But we just realistically owning our own restaurant or bar just doesn't fit with our family.
That was my next question is, does he still want to do that? Okay.
No. So I feel like he feels that that's just something that he's not willing to like put the time in, because long nights, you're there
full-time
all
gig.
the time. Yeah. And our boys are getting bigger, so we want to be able to like spend vacations and stuff together. So a couple of his friends are nurses, and he kind of watched them go through the program and whatnot. So he's very good at hospitality. And so a lot of nursing,
Totally.
You're totally taking care of these people. And so he said to me one day, he's like, I just always think about like, if somebody were taking care of my parents, or if somebody were taking care of me, this is how I'd want them to take care of it of them. And so I feel like I could do that, so he's got a really good perspective on taking care of people. And he's very smart, and he can like pick things up really well, and remembers like the most random stuff, like like just
weird brain. I get
random.
it.
Like, how do you know that? So he watches a lot of like History Channel and stuff.
Yeah, I'm telling you, some of the shit that comes out of my mouth, I'm like,
yeah,
I'm either very weird or I'm so smart.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna go with the weird part. I don't know why. I can oddly hear something one time, and like for some reason my brain is just like, we'll just hold on to that maybe for later. Like we can maybe use that. Like there's a box in there just full of shit.
Yeah.
And there's a guy in charge of the box, and sometimes when somebody asks a question, he's like in the box and he's digging, and he's like, I know it's in here. And then eventually he finds it.
I found it.
Oh my God.
Golden ticket.
Marissa thinks she has a tough job. You should be that guy.
I know, right?
Here we go again.
Yeah. So he's gonna be.
He's gonna be awesome.
Next couple years, he's
got such a great personality. Like every time I think about Frankie or I see him, like he always has the same demeanor. Very kind, very good spirited. He makes you feel like you know him, even if you don't really know him. So that's a gift. I think people that have that, because whenever you are a nurse and you walk into a patient's room, like you've got like this moment's notice to be able to like make them feel like you're going to take care of them.
Yep.
Right. And if you can do that, I mean, you'll have way more success, because really the medical field in general is just really about trust.
Right.
And you have to be able to create that rapport quickly, because, those people, when you're in that situation, you don't trust anybody because you're sick and you're tired and you're hurt and you're all these things. So he'll be phenomenal at that. So has he just started?
Yeah. He's still in his like prereqs and he has to deal with like trying to get seniority. So he's still like working his way up. Sometimes he doesn't get a class, so he's like waiting to get in there. But
tell him when he's ready. I'll talk to him about stool samples.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I still have flashbacks. I want to say there's one story in particular.
Oh,
that
that's right.
when I think about it, I go into the fetal position. I need to be covered up with a blanket, and I need to be left alone for about 45 minutes.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
that traumatic.
So are you
So-
gonna share it?
No, well, it's
Oh.
traumatic. It's traumatic. I'll share it. Yes, I will. I'll share it.
Oh, no.
So I'm in school. I'm in nurse school. I'm the only dude in the class, so I get favoritism. My teachers love me, whatever. But for some reason, I've always found myself like having to take these stool samples. Like my patient would always be somebody who needed, because when you're in school, depending on what like rotation you're on, you can be med surge or whatever. Sometimes you'll have like one or two patients that you're responsible for because they just want you to handle one patient. Don't kill them. Make sure, you know what I mean? Make
Got
sure
it.
they get what they need. But
Yeah.
I would always, it seemed like my people always had to poop. And I'm like, so this one, I go in the room and my teacher, I'm walking by, she's like, hey, Jay, I need you to take a stool sample in here. I'm like, okay, cool. And so it could go various ways. Like the patient could be in the bed and you have to use the bedpan or whatever. But this particular guy could get up and go to the restroom. And so gets up, he goes to the restroom, whatever. And so I have to go into the actual bathroom. If you've ever been in a hospital, you know how the bathroom doors are like heavy.
Yes.
I mean, it's like closing a coffin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get in there, I'm in the bathroom, I'm geared up, I lift up the toilet, and Mike Tyson comes out of the toilet and punches me straight in the stomach. I can't breathe, I'm sweating. The smell was so vile. It was like being in a dumpster in the middle of Iraq is the only way I can describe it, that nobody had taken out for it. So I'm in the hallway, so I can't even do it. Like I have to leave the room. I'm in the hallway sweating profusely. And they made us wear white from head to toe. So I'm in white from head to toe. I have white fucking shoes on.
Yeah.
Do not make a man wear white shoes. I look like an idiot in the hall and I am wet. I look like a wet towel. My teacher walks by, she's like,
What's wrong?
what is wrong with you? And I'm like, can't talk.
I'm gonna throw up.
Oh my God. So literally I had to shove a towel in my mouth, put like a mask guard on. It was, yeah. So Lori I went to the grocery store for the first time yesterday. I haven't been out of the house in like 6 weeks. So we get that mask on. She gives me a mask and I might had a flashback and I'm like, I'm not sitting in the car. Can't even get out of the car.
Yeah.
So when he's ready to talk,
That's a good story.
when he's ready to talk doo-doo, have him give me a buzz. I'll walk him through how to get himself mentally prepared for that.
I don't know how I end up with the poop stories. I think it's because I have 2 boys. It's like no big deal for me. I literally have 10 conversations about poop a day. So
Let me tell you, this was a different poop.
That's
Okay?
not-
This was like the black belt of poops. Okay.
and you never like.
Oh
went-
no, I got it. I got it. You have a choice.
Thank
I
God.
got it.
Good
I
job.
got it. But I'm telling you, this is like the Bruce Lee of poop. Like this sumbitch was mean, hard to kill. Like he's a Chuck Norris of poops is what this was. Hard to kill. And I got beat up that day. It's a tough day.
That's rough. How do you segue from that?
Yeah, you don't. You
Oh my
don't. I mean,
God.
now I'm starting to sweat.
Starting
to sweat. Marissa, we got anything on the hotline?
No question, just a lot of comments.
Who's on? Somebody ask a damn question, people.
Yeah.
Who's on right now? Let me all harass them.
We got
Oh, I know.
Oh.
Have you seen the last Tiger King?
Did they add another one?
With Josh McHale doing interviews of all the people?
No.
Ooh, new
Teeing
episode.
that up for sure. Teeing that up.
We got something to do tonight. It's pretty good. I mean, it's just the interview. They just talk to the people after.
Yeah.
But
I'm still fascinated by it.
I know. I think it's so funny.
It's ridiculous. Did you ever watch the last episode, Marissa?
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
Come
you guys
on,
have to check it
man.
out. Check it out. We just
Get
watched
in
it
the
last night.
game.
No.
Get in the fucking game. I mean, listen, when this is all over, you're gonna need to know your Tiger King trivia. I can guarantee you that.
Boy.
Yeah, but brush up on it
Okay.
for sure. It's not that. I mean, what else are you watching? What are you watching right now? Tell us. What are you watching right now?
Yeah.
Okay, watch TV is when I need something to fall asleep to.
Oh, that's right. You
Okay.
sleep. Yeah, that's right. You go through the movies, you fall asleep.
So I either go Parks and Rec or How I Met Your Mother.
Two great
You
ones.
haven't finished How You Met Your Mother yet?
No, I've seen it like 10 times each time. Like
Mm.
it's one of my favorite shows. Like each episode I've seen like 10 times.
It's a good one. That's a really good one.
That's my favorite.
Okay, really, you're branching out. So you have 2 shows you watch. That's it.
10 times over.
I start a
Do you-
show, I fall
Do you
asleep.
even know how TV works? Do you know you can watch anything? Like you could watch anything you wanted forever that's ever been on. Like you don't have to watch the same show over and over and over again.
I know, but I fall asleep, so I don't want to start something new and then not know where I end up. And I wake up and I have to turn it off, and then I don't want it to, show. I want to be good still.
Okay.
I just started Arrested Development. It's really old, but it's really funny.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Never watched it. Is Jason Bateman in that?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm a big Jason Bateman fan.
Yeah, he's so good. And it's very like Modern Family-esque prior to Modern Family.
Okay.
So it was a really good one.
I find that no matter what he's in, like I usually like his character.
Yes. Yeah.
Like he's been in a bunch of like weird like rom-coms with like Jennifer Aniston or
Oh
like,
yeah.
no matter who he's with, like I always find his character is like he
Oh,
does
yeah.
a really good job.
Yeah, the
of,
one where he wants to kill the boss.
Oh, yep. Of his character portrayals. What other TV shows has he been in? Was he in like he was in like a really popular other than Arrested Development? I think there was
Well,
something.
he's in Ozark right now, I think, right? Or is it something like that? But
I
I
think
didn't
he's
see
in
it.
Ozark, but I can't watch that. I think it's scary, so I can't
Yeah.
watch scary stuff.
What's
Yeah, I
the
can't watch
scariest
things that-
TV show that you've seen?
The scariest TV show I've seen?
Yeah, like
Well, he's
scary, 'cause I know-
Tiger King. That's the scariest. That's the scariest. I don't watch. Fun fact, maybe I will not watch.
You
a
hate
scary
'em.
movie.
Oh, I love him.
No chance in hell.
My absolute favorite.
I can't tell you the last scary movie that I watched. Like I wouldn't growing up. Like people would be like, "Let's watch like Nightmare on Elm Street," and I'm like, "You what the? Why would you do that to yourself?" I watched 7 minutes of Nightmare on Elm Street 1, beat my friend up, watch it, went home, and that's the last movie.
Yeah.
That's the last scary movie
Last
I've ever
time.
seen. Why? Like, what is it about a scary movie?
I
that
don't
you
know.
like?
It's just such a like a rush, You're just like, oh no, turn around, but you're not gonna turn around. You're such an idiot. I don't know. I love it.
You know they're going to die.
I know, but
There's no. It's not like, oh wow, he made it out this time. Like,
so fun.
Freddy's about to jack somebody
Yes.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you watch scary movies, Rosa?
Oh, absolutely not.
No,
Mm.
me either. Won't do it. I refuse. It's an absolute. What's the scariest movie you've ever seen then?
When I was younger, it was Candyman. That scared the shit out of me.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street, that was like for babies. I just watched Marianne on Netflix. That was pretty scary because it's very much like the supernatural but like not fake supernatural, like priest and demons and stuff, devil, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so that was a good one. The original was a really good one. I like zombie movies too. So like World War Z, Walking Dead. Oh, those are
I
all-
would not watch You couldn't pay me to watch The Walking Dead.
It's so good.
But let me tell you that here's how my brain works. I will create a reality around that, and I'll start thinking people. I'm like, is that motherfucker looking? Like, do we have a situation here? Like, I will take. And then the next thing you know, I'm locked up.
Yeah.
Kirk and Holly are down at the prison or wherever they put you.
Trying to bail you out.
Trying to hand me shakes and snackies and stuff because they feel bad for me. But I don't need that shit. Like I just don't.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole set of problems that I would create for myself that I just can't. Yeah, I can't have it. It just wouldn't work for me. We answered one of the questions. What's the second question? So how do you feel about like what's the one thing you've kind of learned about yourself? Or like an opportunity that you already talked about the opportunity, but like what's something you've learned about yourself like during this process?
I have learned that I do enjoy working out because I'm working out a lot. Like I'm still working out. I'm not like being like
going through the motions.
Yeah. I learned that a lot of the time it was just like I don't have time for home improvements because I've been working really hard on like cleaning out my garage. We changed Xavier and Lorenzo's room. We were working on stuff like that. It just sucks because we can't really go out and buy stuff, on the whim, so stuff's kind of at a standstill. We're waiting for our IKEA. Holly, let me know when it's here. IKEA shipment.
We're getting an IKEA?
Yeah. IKEA, the one from San Diego. So Holly and I ordered a bunch of stuff on IKEA.
Oh, I thought you were saying we're getting an IKEA
Oh
here in
no,
the desert. I'm like,
she
where are they
ordered
gonna put that
stuff
son of a bitch?
online. Ordered stuff online, so
Okay.
we're getting the deliveries. So we're waiting for that.
Awesome.
I've always known I'm a homebody, and so like I haven't been like I enjoy staying at home. I enjoy having the family at home, and so for me, I'm not like stressed out about that. I've learned that sometimes I mean obviously like I try to multitask and it doesn't work. I didn't like
doesn't work for
multitasking.
anybody.
Yeah, like I realized I was stressing out. Like when I get home from work, I'd be like, oh, I gotta make the coffee. I gotta make this. I gotta make that. And I ended up being really stressed. So like being able to like calm down and be like, okay, that multitasking wasn't working for me. So now I have been able to just scale back and slow down.
For everybody listening, they've done multiple studies. There's been multiple books written on it, like expert upon expert upon expert. Your brain does not have the capacity to function people think, oh, I can do all these things at the same time. They've proven it scientifically over and over and over again that you may feel busier. You may feel like you're doing that, but scientifically your brain is not responding as it would if you just had one singular task focus in that particular moment. So
yes, I learned that, and it's been really like amazing because I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna make coffee for tomorrow, and then I'm going to make the sandwich for the kids, and then I'm going to do this for next, you know.
Because when you don't, then you get the coffee's in the thing, but the button's not pushed.
Yeah.
There's half the sandwich is made, but not put in the bag. Like you lost your car keys, then you forget, you know what I mean? Then people are like, oh, I'm so busy. I'm like, no, you're just distracted. You're not busy. You're just distracted.
And then I'm just irritated and like take it out on the kids. I'm like, go away, you know? So it's been nice.
Yeah.
It's been nice. Yeah.
What are you guys doing from I'm assuming Frankie's probably, has the schedule shifted at all? Like, is he home more than he was?
Home more. So the first 2 weeks he was home every day. I was really excited for him to go back to work.
Yeah.
No, but it was really nice to have him. That's when we did a lot of the home improvements.
Yeah.
And then now his schedule is less. And so that's been really nice. Like he's been able to come home or he doesn't have to go to work till later.
Yeah.
So we actually got the bikes out. We've been bike riding.
Cool.
Xavier doesn't have the training wheels on anymore. So he's like super excited. And
awesome.
So we get to go fast, you know, and so that's been really nice. So it's been, funny story. So about a year ago, Frankie comes home with these like straps and he like does this concoction in the garage. And I'm like, you're never going to use this. This is a waste of space, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, we're cleaning out the garage. The kids see the straps. They want to hang on it. They pull it down. They're swinging. I'm like, holy shit, that's a TRX.
No way.
Yeah, for 1 year it's been in my garage and I had no idea.
Had a TRX set up in the garage. Didn't even know it. Look at that.
So that was really exciting. So I've been doing that and using it, and I've just done the ones that we did in the studio. But I was kind of embarrassed. I was like, I texted the girls. I was like, don't judge me, but I've had this in my garage and I had no idea.
Perfect time to find it.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, give me like a workout or two that I can use.
Awesome. Absolutely. I'll video some stuff. I've been using a ton of TRXs at the studio, just, you know, just trying to mix up some stuff. So yeah, I'll send you some shots on that. There's some, you can do pretty much anything with it. It's unbelievable.
I know.
Is it suspended from the top?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's in the ceiling.
In the ceiling. Okay.
It's pretty.
Very cool.
Yeah, I know. But I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm dumb.
That's okay. Speaking of that, does Frankie work out? Is he a workout guy at all?
So he's starting to now that we're like have the time. He likes to ride bikes. So like he did one of the Palm Springs, like the 100-mile on those, and he's gonna start doing the TRX too. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get some workouts right. He does pretty much stay J approved as well for the most part. Like he's lost a lot of weight as well, and he's maintained that. And so he cooks for me, but he cooks like what I can eat, and so he'll end up eating it because we end up cooking like really good stuff. He's a chef by heart, so like he likes to like do it up. So that's been really good too. Like he's maintained, he's dropped a lot of pounds and maintained that.
Super cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We were talking to Bobby Jane yesterday. I think it's always so amazing whenever you see, and like I said, I mean, just meeting Frankie once, I could tell he's this kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like, the spouse or the significant other that like jumps on board and is like, whatever I need to do to support you to get where you want to go. Like, I find that to be so refreshing and so awesome. So
Yes. Yeah. So it's been good. Like and my mom, my mom works out at 5 a.m. every morning. And so she stopped like when everything went, home.
Yeah.
And so then I finally said, Mom, you got to get up. You got to go. I'm going to do my workout in the morning. You got to go and do yours. So she's been walking again. Yeah.
Good.
So she's been walking again, which is good.
Good.
Yeah.
What's your mom's favorite things? Because I know she drops you off, and then does she go over to EOS?
Yeah.
Okay. Does she have like a little routine that she kind of goes through? And
yeah, she does like the treadmill, and then she'll do a couple of the like machines I went over one time and showed her how to do it.
Awesome.
And so she'll do like the stuff. And I told her, now that I know that we have a TRX, I'm gonna have her do that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll walk. She's got like weights that she puts on her ankles and walks and listens to news though. And yeah.
Hey. At least she's walking, right?
Right, exactly. So she's been
something.
doing that, and then she'll like want to take the boys out later in the day, and so we'll do another one.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I think that's super cool.
Gonna keep her going on that.
Good. Marissa, anything before we let Miss Rebecca go on with her beautiful day? We're right at 3:30.
Let's go. Oh, Kirsten asked, I got here late, so
Hold on.
Courtney.
Oh, Courtney. Who's this? Okay, go ahead.
Kirsten.
Go ahead.
I got here late, so I don't know if she already said it. How did she get here from Oregon?
Yeah, so that was when it was a spring break. It was my last year at community college, spring break. My boyfriend at the time and I and my little sister decided to drive down. We came and visited for a week. I fell in love with it. I was like, okay. And actually my boyfriend was supposed to come down with me because we were both done at the end of at June. And I moved all my stuff down, and then he emailed me. He was going to come down later, like in August. So he like emailed me, this isn't going to work out. I got to stay here in Oregon.
Hit you with the email?
Broke up with me in an email.
Savage.
Yeah.
Savage. What?
Yeah.
No, do we know this Joker still? Do we know what he's doing?
No.
Because I'll stalk his ass. Listen, you send me his name as soon as this is over.
Justin Duke.
I'm gonna stalk Justin Duke.
Duke.
Let him know
What
you
he missed out on.
fucked up, Justin Duke. I'm gonna call him Justin Dukey. Well, that'll hurt him. Nobody likes to be called Dookie.
Totally.
That's gonna hurt him. Okay, I know how to get to somebody.
But I will say, I don't think I even cried because clearly I was like moving on.
You moved on pretty quick.
So fast.
You're like, hey, who's
I was like, oh, really? Okay, see ya.
Yeah.
Bye.
You're like, well,
what are you doing?
I'm over at the Outback hanging out, Joker. So
hey. Yeah. So when we had come down just to visit, and that's when I realized I was like, I want to grow. I want to live in the sun.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Listen, and now the heat's not even that bad, is it? I mean,
no, it's
on.
not. No,
Ridiculous.
It's funny because I'll have it like the air will be at like 80. Like it's at 80 right now. And Frankie's like, it's so hot. I'm like, it's perfect. I'm okay. I don't like going into the air conditioning.
The only time I like to be cold is when I sleep. That's it.
Yeah,
Sleep cold, rest of the time, I'll sweat it out. I don't care.
Totally.
Lori's been dying because I won't turn the air. If she asks me to, I will. But at the studio, it's hot as shit right now.
Yeah.
Like today, like literally, I mean, I was sweating like crazy in there, so it's pretty bad. So I'm
okay with it.
She's gonna make me turn the heat on. I mean, the air on pretty soon.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Any other things?
Yeah.
What do we got?
Hello, everybody.
Alyssa asks, what's the biggest takeaway or Jayism that has propelled your success? I know you listen to the calls and podcasts. Any favorite messages?
Oh, that's a hard one.
It is
a lot. It is.
I don't even know my own favorites.
I remember. Okay, so that summer of the summer of 2018, there was a lot of good like or maybe it was just because I was new and I, you know, I've got the whole like behavior background. I get it. Like, I don't know if maybe it was just like, boom, it just all hit me. But I went through, I had one journal and then I finished that journal. So I went in my new journal and I went back and just kind of flipped through a lot of the calls. Cause I like to write the things down. And the first page of my new journal, I put all of the like things that, that really hit me. I think consistency is the key. Like, I think that message is really important because there's times where I'll go like haywire. I'll just go off the rails, you know? And I feel like that's the one message that you constantly drill into us. Like, if you're consistent, if you get back on it, not even tomorrow, if you get back on it at 5 p.m., like, yes, you might have had a mess up in the morning. If you get back on it at 5 p.m., you're going to keep going and it's going to be okay. You know? And I feel like that has been such a like key to me continuing and not just giving up and not just stopping, you know?
100%.
I'm like, ugh, like
I think it's the use of those tools, like the application of those things is what keeps people going. It's like the ones that don't apply, they just consume. Like, I think those are the ones that usually fall off because then they feel like, well, I have all this information and I'm not doing anything with it. I'm overwhelmed and now I'll just quit.
And sometimes I feel like that. Sometimes I feel like that even with the information that I get from you. Like, sometimes I'm like, God, like that's so great, but then I won't use it, or you know, I won't go back to it again for a long time. And so sometimes I do feel overwhelmed. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to just stop and like think, because otherwise I'm gonna feel like I'm failing.
Yep.
And that's kind of been the mental challenge for me. Like, I can get up and come work out. That's not a problem. I know, like you always say, like, you know, you need to eat a salad, but realistically it's that mental challenge, that like not beating myself up when I do make those mistakes, or not like, you know, being really hard on myself. And I feel like that's always that's the whole like the team concept of holding ourselves accountable, but also giving us grace. Like, I love some of the girls, they'll post that, or they'll send a message in that, and it's like, okay, I can do this. I'm going to be okay.
100%. I mean, listen, I mean, we all have the days and the moments and the struggles and the things like that. I mean, nobody's immune to those, and you never will be. That's the key takeaway, is that you'll never be immune to the adversity, but it's how you handle the adversity or the challenge or the opportunity or whatever you want to label it. And then what you do in that particular situation. And even if you get knocked back a few steps, you just may have to make the decision right then. Like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and start stepping forward again now and not wait. Most people just wait. They're like, well, I've already screwed this up. I'll just wait, you know, blah, blah. And then wait becomes waiting, and then they never get back in the saddle. So, and
that's been the key right there. And that is like, after my broken toe, you know, it was such a wake up call. And then going straight from broken toe into, oh, I can't even go to the studio anymore. You know, like, I could have just stopped, but I had been working out almost every day, 5 a.m. for 2 years. So I just kept going.
Well, I was going to say, the best thing you did was, even when you broke your toe, you still kept showing up every day.
Yeah.
And that's the differentiator. Even though you couldn't do the things that you wanted to do, used to do, all those things, you still kept showing up. And that's the key in life. Like, it's easy to show up when everything's perfect.
Right.
It's when you show up and when things are struggles or adversities or whatever, that's the key to getting to the next level. Because then then there's no option to quit, right? So you made a really wise decision in doing that, to continue to show up for yourself. So.
And it was hard, because there was times where I'd see Jared and Marissa and Christy.
Totally. Just beat you up. Yeah.
I'm just saying, Christy better like step back when we come back. She's got to watch out, because
I know
she doesn't get to partner with Jared.
She slid into your spot.
Or Marissa. No.
Slid into your spot. We may have to have like a drawing. I'll see. I don't know. So Jared tried to break his toe the other day. Who knows what's going on? I know.
Well, he's got time.
People.
And Amity broke hers again.
What?
Amity broke hers as well.
She didn't mention this. Did I miss something? Did I miss the
post?
post?
She said it's like, no, it's her middle toe finger. Or is that how you say it? Toe finger?
Close enough.
Middle toe. What are
you guys doing that you're breaking your toes, man?
She said that she does it like probably every couple months or something. Like it's just normal.
Then that's a problem in and of itself, Amity. I mean, that's maybe something we need to address if you're breaking toes on a regular basis.
So yeah, she's a trooper. She's like, it'll heal.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm just excited to get back and
yeah, me too.
Be able to work with everybody.
Me too. I'm ready to get the ball rolling again. I mean, trust me, I've been at the studio working on new workouts and all kind of stuff. So I'm excited for us to get cranked up again. Marissa, anything else before we get out of here?
One more question from Bobby Jane. Did you ever get Felipa to work out with you?
So Felipa is my sister-in-law, and Felipa and Bobby Jane used to live like next door or on the same block as each other. And it was funny because one day, I don't know if Felipa said, "Oh, how do you know Bobby Jane?" or Bobby Jane asked, whatever. So they, degrees of separation. So Felipa has always had a weight problem, always been bigger. And she would she'd not eat and then drop weight and then start eating again. And so she actually started working out with a individual person, and she has been maintaining. She's lost a lot of weight. She does a lot of the same stuff as us. And she's been hiking, and she's been doing a bunch of stuff, but I think she was always kind of nervous to come and work out with me because she thought maybe she wasn't ready or whatever.
Yeah.
But I did tell her that once we get back, for her to come and start just try it out with me, but
for sure.
She had, her brother-in-law actually paid for the personal training sessions, up to 6 months or something.
Good.
So she loves the guy. He goes into the restaurant all the time.
Good.
Yeah. So she is working out. She's dropping weight. And I did message her the other day and asked her how are things going? Because I just wanted to check in. And she's like, I really needed this because she was starting to scale back. So she's now working out again.
Good.
Hiking. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, Becky, thanks for joining us, man. This has been fun. I think we knew a lot, of that, but we didn't know everything. So I think it's always good to learn a little bit more about everybody. And thanks for joining us for Awesomeness Hour. For everybody listening, you too, make sure you guys are listening to the actual podcast as well. I've been on fire lately, and I'm not just saying that. Some of my stuff's it's okay. Not this episode today, but the one last week was killer. Maybe my best episode ever was last week. And then I've done 4 this week. So the next few weeks are already done because it's just there's so much opportunity right now going in my brain. So whenever I drop one of those guys, I put them out on Monday. You guys get the notification on Tuesday, but if you're subscribed, you'll get them as soon as they're out, and I'll start dropping them early so you guys can listen to them ahead of time. The next
good one today, the
4 or 5 are fucking unbelievable. They're amazing. So yeah, make sure you guys are teeing them up.
Yeah. I hit snooze today, and then I was so bummed because then I listened to it while I was already running. I'm like,
son of a...
oh, you're so right. Dang it. So annoying.
So true. All right, guys, we love you, and we'll see you on the next Awesomeness Hour. Bye.
Bye.